Hello and welcome to card number 5 for September's virtual stamp camp. And yesterday I had kind of given you a heads up that I might try and do something for Halloween and that. And so sometimes I know right away what I'm gonna do when I say that, and sometimes I don't. And today I had a really good idea of what I thought I wanted to do. And boy, this card was probably at least 2 hours in the planning, and it was starting to drive me nuts. Hi, Tori, thanks for joining in. So welcome to my Insanity Class Tuesday. And so as I was prepping for the class and everything, I went through like 4 different colors of card bases and nothing was coming together. And like I said, I wanted it to be Halloween. So there's certain colors that look better for Halloween than others and such. So there was some of that going on too. So I hope after 2 hours that you maybe kind of like the card that I put together, or at least can have some inspiration to tweak it and do something fun on your own too. Hi, Wendy. Hi, Lisa. Hi, Joyce. And so, oh, Tori, you're at the beach again. This is just no fair, but it is a beautiful day even here for southern Minnesota. It's like, wow, to have it in the 80s in September, I will take that any day, even if it's windy. So hopefully you guys are all enjoying some of that weather too. I'm just gonna pull up my iPad here, and while that comes up, here is the card. So, and it'll look better when I get it turned around and such, but just wanted something Halloween. I'm not big on Halloween like spooky or anything, so I'll usually do pumpkins before I do jack-o'-lanterns. Not that I don't ever do jack-o'-lanterns and such, but trying to find something like fun that you can send to everybody that celebrates maybe fall more than Halloween, but still have a fun Halloween theme to it. Hi, Julie. Hi, Carla. Hi, Beth. So I think then my iPad's up and running, so I think I can get my camera turned around here for you guys. And I'll explain a little bit more about my card and what I'm going with here. And so like I said, it's card number 5 for September's virtual stamp camp. Hi, Donna. And so here is the card. This way, like I said, if you're just joining in, literally 2 hours in the designing of today's card because it was driving me nuts. The card base here is basic gray, but one time I'd started with like Mango Melody, basic black, even the gorgeous grape color. I was just really struggling to get my thoughts onto paper, like literally. And I knew I wanted to use the banner year just because there's so many cute images, like the squirrel and the acorn there. I need to do something fun with that for fall. I love that there's a cute pumpkin, and I have used that, and the little spider web. I even thought about putting the spider web over the boo, but just thought, man, I'm just gonna leave it. Sometimes less is more type thing. So that is that. And where I'm pulling that from is the holiday catalog. So yeah, your August through December catalog, and banner year is on page 65. And so you can see it's got a very nice spread there. And this is, yeah, a nice photopolymer stamp set. So for $17 to get all that, I always think is great. So usually with photopolymer, there's a lot more images compared to the price, which is nice. And I've been using the banners Pick-a-Punch a lot lately. So these two can be bundled for 10% savings, even though I'm only using the stamp set today. So if this has been something that's maybe been on your wish list possibly or whatever, and then you think, oh, maybe I do want that, just I always like to point that out, just because sometimes I'll say, do I really want one or the other? And then I'll be mad at myself later if I didn't get the 10% savings. So then if I flip forward a few pages, then I'm going to be using Magic in this Night Designer Series paper. And I know I've been using this quite a bit, but there's just so many fun designs in there. And then I'm going to use some of my Cobweb 3D embossing folder and the iridescent pearl for some of my accessories to go with that too from the holiday catalog. So yeah, so I have been, like I said, using tons of this fun paper, and I was gonna show you just all the neat things with it. So you've probably seen some of these designs here and here, like on different projects, and I've even used like the Cajun Craze, which is exactly like today's design. Just today I'm using black and white. And then the one that I haven't used yet, oops, my paper's sliding a little bit, is the Pretty Peacock. And I thought, ooh, that could be fun for even Christmas or something, just because it looks so elegant. So who would have thought that putting like something elegant next to spiders would go together? But it kind of does. So that's where I'm pulling that paper from, with the focus being on that particular sheet of the paper packet. Hi Val, how are you? Okay, so there's a lot of embossing today, a little bit of cutting too. Yeah, probably just as much cutting as embossing. So I'm really glad to have my new Stamp and Cut and Emboss machine, because I'm going to make the most out of that today. So I think to start, I'm going to emboss the card base here. And so this is the basic gray color. Let me just get my stamp set out of the way here. And so what I did ahead of time is cut it and scored it to get a nice crease. And then that helps, because when I go to put the brick and mortar 3D embossing folder through on here, then I'll know kind of where to line that up. So I want to emboss the front side of my card. So I don't just go like so and fold it. And the reason I don't like to do that is you can already see how much of an edge is kind of sticking out of that card, of the card, and so then you're going to have that edge sticking out, and I don't like that. So because we have a nice crease, I actually tuck it in, because you can also see in here that there's a spot that doesn't emboss, so there's kind of almost like a double overlap unless I do this. So right now my crease is probably sitting right about there. I'd actually rather have like 1/8 of an inch getting embossed on there than having a 1/4 inch or 1/8 inch not embossed on the front side of the card. So, whoops. I'm going to slide that through. This is a 3D embossing plate, so I'm going to put that on my platform with the specialty plate. Hi Lois, thanks for joining in. Okay, so I'm gonna run that through. And then we have, hello Lisa. And so having that like so, and the other nice thing is I don't worry too much if I'm putting my card in one way or the other, because if my bricks are popped up this way, I just fold it that way. And if they're popped up that way, I literally just fold it that way. So that works for that. Hi Leah, thanks for joining in. Okay, so I'm gonna give that a good crease and just kind of set that aside. And then since I'm doing 3D embossing, next I'm going to take my Cobwebs 3D embossing folder. So that's that fun one. And I'm going to just take some gorgeous grape cardstock, this one right here, like so, and do that same thing. So this is going to go through there like so. That one just cranks through easy peasy. So I've got my purple, or I should say gorgeous grape cardstock embossed with that fun cobweb embossing folder. Okay, so next, let me think. Next, I want to, actually, since I have my, like I said, this card took so long to design, and it's not that special, then it took so long to design that I have to really stop and think, like, at what point was I going forwards more than I was going backwards, and which step do I do next? Okay, so since I have my embossing machine right here, I'm just going to switch out my plate so I can do some regular cutting. And this, I'm using my layering circle framelits, and I'm just pulling out, these two mat together really well. This one is a circle with a scallop edge, and then the circle that's just a little smaller than that is what I'm going to cut that out with. So I just kind of guessed at a square. It was probably about 3 by 3 or so to emboss, and then I knew that my circle would fit on there. So I'm going to run that through, and then we just have that piece there. Kind of fun. So circle with the cobweb still, and then I need to mat that. So I'm going to put that scallop circle on black cardstock, like so. And let's see, got that. Yeah, you guys, look at my hand today. So I had physical therapy. My wrist has kind of been killing me, and you know, could actually be probably from running my my Big Shot so much. So I'm hoping this new machine will help if it's not as tiresome to cut, and who knows what it's from. It could just be I've been doing a lot. But if you see that and go, what is on her hand or what that's from. Nothing major or important. Okay, so the next die that I'm going to use here is going to be my label, and that's going to be from the Ornate Frames dies. And if you guys remember, this set of dies came out last year around Halloween, and it was such a fun set with the fun ornate edges and everything on there, and I've used it for wedding cards and everything like that's really fancy to spooky Halloween and such. So that's kind of fun to bring that one back out. But actually the die that I'm using really doesn't have a lot for thrills and such for that, frills and thrills. Pretty plain, but I kind of wanted plain because there's just a lot of other texture and such going on the card. Hello, June. Thanks for joining in. Okay, so then we have just that little piece there. So I think everything's cut, embossed and such. So all I need to do is start my assembly here. So I'm going to take my my seal tape here and just run some of that along the edges. And this again is that Magic in This Night Designer Series paper. So I'm just going to go and line that up like so. And then I always double check after cutting to see that it matches up pretty well. See, there's just a little extra piece there that I didn't like. And if there's extra, then it's just easy along the back side to just trim that off if you have layers that don't line up exactly, even though you've cut them 5.5 both times. So this Designer Series paper is 5.5 by 2, and then the black behind there's 5.5 by 2.25. So before I tape that down, I'm going to use some of this beautiful, I'm going to see if I can get it in the camera. Yeah, that picks it up pretty well. Hi, Pam. And so it's got glittery, little glittery specks in there, as well as it being organdy ribbon. So it's really easy to tie. Hi, Carrie. Thanks for joining in. So this I'm just going to tie around the bottom, and I kind of want the bow, or not the bow, you guys know me all too well. I am doing a knot like usual. I'm not really a bow type girl, and knots are so much easier. Okay, so I'm just tying a knot around, and I want it to stay kind of on that side of it. I'm just gonna scoot it up a little bit. Then with my scissor, I'm gonna just cut that off a little bit, just a square cut. But how fun is that glitter ribbon on that Designer Series paper? I just think those two really go together well. And then I'm gonna take my Stampin' Seal again and just put some of that on here. And I love that this is a stickier form of adhesive, just because for things like this that have a ribbon, not that that ribbon is bulky at all, but I know that I'm going to get a really nice seal of adhesive to put that layer on my card. And then next I'm going to take and layer these pieces. So I'm going to take my cobweb piece here, oops, and still hanging on like a cobweb. Okay, and hi Carla. And so that I'm just going to layer on my basic black scallop circle there. So I've got that kind of as a matting as well. And now we're actually going to stamp. So I haven't stamped up to this point at all yet. So I'm going to open up my Gorgeous Grape ink pad. And that's the same color as my cardstock here. And I'm only using 2 stamps from that whole stamp set. So the banner year, like I said, has lots of different occasions for Halloween, fall, Christmas, Valentine's, things like that. But I'm only using the boo and the bat this time around. So my boo here, I'm just going to stamp. I want to stamp that upside down. And because it's photopolymer, I love that I can see exactly where I'm going to stamp. So it's easy to find the middle there too. Hi, Robin, thank you. Oh, okay, Robin, I would love to do that for you. I see your message there. I'd love to make this card for you. I'll do that. Okay, so then I'm getting out my basic black for the bat here, like so. And that I am just going to kind of put at an angle in the corner, and then again at that same angle down in the other corner like that. Trying to pick it up. And usually the ink dries really fast, but the last thing I want to do is pick it up too soon too and have it smear. So for this, I'm just going to set that aside because I want to put this on first. And I'm going to actually, let's see, sometimes with that cobweb design, there's a better top or bottom or something. So I think there's times where I like how it lays better. So I'm going to put just a couple dimensionals here, and I'll tell you why. So I'm putting 2 there, and then I'm going to put on the other side. Whoops, sometimes this just needs a little help in advancing. Well, maybe. I know I had that string come off last time and it doesn't like that. There we go. Sometimes if I twist it, which I forget, then it'll help release. Okay, so having the 2 dimensionals just on one side of it kind of makes it even because I've already got a couple layers here, but not over here. So if I do that, it kind of levels the playing field of the card right away, which is always nice, so it doesn't kind of teeter-totter like so. And then I'm going to, just to add a little bit of dimension to the sentiment, I'm going to put 3 dimensionals across there. And I really like the size of this die because I wanted it to show a lot of the cobweb, which it does, but kind of have a generous amount of space for my sentiment. You can see I'm kind of pulling to make sure that it stays even and such, like so. And so putting that sentiment on there just kind of ties that Gorgeous Grape together with that and the black from the other pieces. So like I said, I struggled because I had all sorts of different things like that I wanted to pull in for colors, and I really thought Mango Melody should go maybe with this paper, but I also am a fan of Gorgeous Grape and the basic gray together when it comes for Halloween occasions too. Hi, Becky. Thanks for joining in. So then to finish my card, because I always say, you know, this could be the card and it would be fine just like that, but I always like to add just, you know, a little bit. It takes seconds to add a little bit of accessories and such. And so these are the iridescent pearls, and they're found in that same holiday catalog. And because I'm going kind of with a purple theme and they're iridescent, some of these will take on more of a purple tone than others. So I'm kind of trying to pick and choose across my card those that have maybe more of that purple tone. Although with the grays and blacks and such, I don't think that any of them would be too bad. So that just kind of helps add a little element to the card. And then for the inside, I'm just going to put like that bat just straight on the bottom, and then kind of at an angle at the top. So you'll still have plenty of space to write your sentiment. And I know Robin said, hey, make me one of those. So this is how everybody's cards will come, just blank, if you are ordering them through my virtual stamp camp for September. So knowing that might help you because then you can kind of add your own greeting, especially for a card like this. So then I'm just going to put that in the inside, and then you'll still kind of see like a faint background image of that brick wall in there too, besides the bats when you open up the card. Oh, thank you, Tori. Yeah, that web paper is kind of fun because once again, it's not too spooky. I always say this paper when I use it reminds me of the Tim Burton series of movies because they're always kind of just a little bit on edge for a kid's movie, but kind of has, you know, that kind of creative look to his imagery and such too. So that is today's card number 5. And let me get my camera turned around here like so. So I hope you guys are finding some inspiration and hopefully you're finding some time too, because that's usually part of it. And if not, I think we'll probably end up being indoors a little bit more again in the upcoming months once it gets cold. So you might even go, okay, I don't have time to watch Belle's videos now, but maybe later you might be that bored that you might want to go back and look at some of these cards. So maybe not today when you're thinking, oh, December or Christmas, and today might not be a great day, but to look back at because it's Halloween. But with that, you could take today's card layout, and instead of the spooky doily cobweb, you could find a pretty Christmas paper, change up the colors red and green or something non-traditional Christmas, and you could actually use the same stamp set again and just put something else more Christmassy and more of the images that are Christmassy too, to give you that same idea. And that's what I love being able to show you, is how you can take some of the ideas and just copy, but in a whole different way, and the card will look completely different, but still fun and less taxing on the brain when you have the idea right there. Hi, Diane, thank you. And so, yeah, so card number 5. So how you could get my cards for September's virtual stamp camp is you can just let me know and say, hey, Belle, I'd love your set of 10 cards. And then I get them to you. They're $22. Otherwise, if you place a $75 order, then you get them for free. You can either let me know that, otherwise there's a host code that I have on my workspace, and then I'm going to post this card, and then that will give you the details of the host code. And if you're looking at what I used today, I always post all of the supplies used to make the card too. So thank you, Lois. I see your note there. I will put you down for September stamp camp cards. So tomorrow I'll be here. I have a big day in the morning and such, so it might be ending up that I'm here a little bit later in the afternoon. I don't know a time yet, but I will still be doing a Facebook Live, so don't panic if you don't see me coming on at a normal or usual time. And so maybe it might even be evening. It's hard to say. So, but I'll see you guys tomorrow, and thanks so much for joining in. Oh, Tori, I see you. I'll put you down for stamp camp cards too before I sign off. All right, see you guys tomorrow. Thanks again.